Hi, my name is Lisa Dyson. I'm the CEO and founder, one of the co-founders of Kiverdi, and we're recycling carbon dioxide to feed the world. So when we started the company, we were looking at how we could have an impact in climate change through business. And our solution was to figure out how to profitably recycle carbon. And we looked at some work that was done during the 60s and 70s by NASA, where they were looking at how to recycle carbon dioxide on board spacecraft. And one of their ideas involved the use of single-celled organisms, microorganisms, that, like plants, could be used to grow food. And so astronauts would breathe out carbon dioxide, the microorganisms would capture that carbon dioxide, and food would grow. They would be able to grow food from that. And then the astronauts would consume that, breathe out the carbon dioxide, the microorganisms would consume that, and so a closed-loop carbon cycle would be created. So we thought this was a good idea, and we started working on this type of technology with these microbes. They're called hydrogenotrophs, not algae, so it's a different class of microorganisms that pretty much had been overlooked and understudied when we first started working on this. And we found that we can make a lot of amazing things. So is this microphone working okay? Okay. We can make something like, we can make a protein-rich product that has 80% protein content and all the essential amino acids and is rich in vitamins and minerals. Something that can be used for human nutrition, for animal feed, for a number of purposes. And we can make oils, something like a palm oil in over 50% of consumer products. And we can make something like a monoterpene, an orange oil essentially, limonene, that could be used to make biodegradable non-toxic solvents and a number of other uses. So we're commercializing some of these solutions, in particular protein-based products. And one of the solutions that we're commercializing is in agriculture. It is a biostimulant essentially, so a biofertilizer, sort of ingredients for ag that increase crop yield. To increase crop yield and make plants more drought tolerant and resistant to high stress environments. And so we're working with a consortium of companies in Europe to commercialize that solution. We can make other things such as biodegradable polymers, PHAs. And so you can make that directly from CO2 using this type of process. And we have companies that we're working with on different applications. We're not the applications people. We are the manufacturers of the product, the input, the raw materials, and then we have others that are working on applications. So many of you in here know that you take any type of carbonaceous material, you can get carbon dioxide out of it. If you can burn it, you can gasify it essentially. So you can turn it into CO2, but also get the energy content in a usable form, in the form of hydrogen. And so this allows us to enable basically the circular economy. We can use things like plastics and gasify those plastics, turn it into products. We can start with agricultural residue, manufacturing waste, etc. And so we are currently scaling up solutions that enable that circular economy. And one example is taking diapers, used diapers, and which have cellulose in them, plastic, superabsorbent polymers, turn that into a synthesis gas, CO2 and hydrogen, and then converting that into products, and converting that to value. So we are demonstrating our technology. Demos are underway. I mentioned the European project. We also have another project in Canada, partially by the province of Quebec, with a number of partners, CO2 Solutions, Total, Sunfor, a number of partners involved in that. So we have over 50 patents pending or granted on this technology, international as well, and we have a strong team working on this. It's been funded by numerous government entities, the U.S. Department of Energy. We're working with Lawrence Berkeley Labs, NREL. We continue to work with these organizations because they have great minds. And there's government funding from Europe, from the Quebec, as I said, from Canada, from a number of governments. So one of the opportunities that we're looking at attacking would be circular economy opportunities. So how do you take manufacturing residue or carbon that you want to monetize and turn that into value? And so we typically do a techno-economic assessment with companies and identify the opportunity that we can attack with this new type of manufacturing solution. And one of those opportunities is around plastic. So there's a huge push to address all the plastics that end up in the ocean, and we can turn plastics that are not degradable into biodegradable plastics. Thank you very much.